allow us to reintroduce ourselves. We are the mob. M to the OB. Let me say that right. That's it right. Allow us to reintroduce ourselves. We are the mob. Memphis, Overbull. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. Every building and talking about, these real topics is your thing, right? Chat mob, y'all holler at me. Make sure that my vocals clear. You know. I could put the chat overlay up over the screen, but yeah, that's another topic. Trials and tribulations. Trials and tribulations. A lot of things going on in Memphis right now. Um, a lot of things. But I was already here talking about these things before the big trial. Or the big trials, right? Tyre Nichols trial. You got the young Dolph murder trial. A very short trial, obviously. Ended after 1 week. And everybody's been asking me, I've been gone. I've been busy taking care of me and mine, right? There's a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. That's good. It's good. It has me been busy, right? Staying active. Like I tell everybody, it's hard to be an activist when you're not active, right? So, yeah, trials and tribulations, right? When I looked up the term trials and tribulations is a term that's kind of commonly used now, more so now than it was in older times, right? They got the whole timeline of 1800s, 1820. It started to be used a lot more in 1840. Then I'm talking about the term tribulation, right? There was a decline in it, right? And then you see near 2000 and later, tribulations came up again as people started to use the term more as we started to go through tribulations, right? This is what I thought. And I think life is a trial in itself, right? So I just think while we're focused on Tyre Nichols, the young Dolph, and that's what we're going to talk about, the young Dolph trials. We're all on trial. They're a trial period, right? You're only here temporarily. So while you're focused on their trials, I'm always going to go back to what I do. Make sure that you're not distracted from your trial period, which is life. Life is a trial period, and it's short, a very short trial. But, you do the right things, and maybe you can get a full-time subscription if you earn it, right? So pay your dues. Make sure that your trial is right while we're talking about the trials of these others, right? Just thought that was very, very interesting. But like I said, make sure you all hit the like and subscribe button. I don't tell y'all that enough. You watch the video, y'all been wondering where I was, I'm letting you know. And I didn't really think it was a need to rush into this. We always rush into things. I just felt like I'd already said a lot about these issues, about these topics, right? For those who rock with me, they already know. But yeah, let's get to this. The Tyre Nichols. We're gonna start with Tyre Nichols because it's like currently going on. We see what happened with the young Dolph trial. We'll talk about that. We'll just pretty much do reactions. Don't have a lot of solutions right now, but I have a lot of things we're gonna reflect on, and because nobody talks about it like we do from our perspective at the mob. You did. So let's get this. Give me 1 second, y'all. Yeah, as you can see, got a little setup here. I'm working with my other setup. Yeah. So, yeah. Here's a video we're going to do a reaction to because some things that he said, the police officer did when he took the stand about the Tyre Nichols trial, is that it's very revealing, right? It's something about taking a stand right now that's making people tell the truth, right? The truth shall set you free. So I want to play this video because there's a lot of points. There's a lot of points about our city and our culture and our people that are represented in this video. Check it out.
Full about what happened the night Tyre Nichols was beaten by police. And the testimony is coming from a former officer who was on the scene that night. Former Scorpion Unit member Emmett Martin was the first officer to see Tyre Nichols in January of 2023.
Today, he took the witness stand in the federal trial of Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith. Our WREG's April Thompson is live at federal court. And April, plenty of people have been waiting to hear what Martin has to say about what happened that night.
They have, especially since now that he is testifying against the other three officers. And one thing that we continue to hear Martin say in his testimony, we lied and exaggerated to justify what we did.
Something that happens very often with the police departments in America, right? Anyway, I'll let the video play.
Emmett Martin, a former member of the Memphis Police Department Scorpion Unit, describing the deadly encounter that led to the unit's demise and Tyre Nichols' death. Martin testifying for the prosecution in the federal trial of Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith, laying out how he was the first to see Nichols speed up to make it through a red light and gave chase. Martin admitting he didn't know how fast Nichols was going, but that a chase for a traffic violation was against MPD policy. It would be the first of several policy violations Martin testified he and other officers committed that night, describing how he, Demetrius Haley, and Officer Preston Hemphill surrounded Nichols' car, yelling, "Get the expletive out of the car."
All right, get the expletive out of the car, right? So you gotta wonder what that expletive was, right? Calling you something, right? You got your own people that deem your own, calling, "Nick, get your car." That's what I'm saying. It's our own concept doing this, or what people deem our own. I've explained that too, because it's not really our own, but it's what people want, what the powers that be, right? Really want us to believe. I'll let you know what I feel about that.
And get on the ground. I'm gonna tase your expletive. Martin said Nichols was never resisting and there was no reason to tase him, which Hemphill did. Martin says by the time they caught up with Nichols, who managed to run away, Tadarius Bean and Justin Smith had him on the ground, hitting him with a closed fist. He said Desmond Mills took out his baton and started hitting Nichols 3 times on the arm. And that was against policy, since Nichols was not a threat. Martin admitted he should have stepped in, but instead he said, "I punched him in the face 5 times.
Now so on one hand, you say you admit you should have stepped in, right? On the other hand, your response to that feeling is, I punched him in the face 5 times. And there's a reason behind this. Even though he knew the right thing to do, he didn't make the right choice, right? He's trying to make the right choice now, but it's always in the moment. And that's why we always talk about repetition, right? Staying down with it, because the second you get away from it, you got to start to think with the group and the crowd. That's why we push individualism here. Thinking for yourself. Yeah. Be selfish, because in this moment, had he been selfish and thought about himself, he wouldn't be on this trial with these others, right? But yeah, he knew he wanted to stop. I wanted to stop it, but instead I punched him in the face 5 times. Hey, you made that choice.
With a closed fist. When asked why he did it, Martin said, "I was mad. I was already on edge prior to even getting there. We tried to get him in custody and it wasn't working. He ran and that's what happened." Martin said Haley delivered a vicious kick between Nichols' torso and head. Martin said he also added to the kicks, saying Nichols' body jerked. He admitted kicking is not a trained police technique. One thing Martin maintained, out of all the officers on the scene, no one told the other to stop or pull back.
Nobody. Say, hey, wait a minute. What you doing? Nobody. So at this point, it's a little too late to try to separate yourself from the pack, sir. We know the trial is, the jury or whatever, the judge, everybody gonna try to separate you and give you a deal for turning on your comrades. But at this moment, you've already made that decision, right? So it will probably be more respect if you just stayed down with the people who you got down with on this night. I'm just being honest.
By the time their Lieutenant Dwayne Smith showed up, he says no one mentioned the punches and kicks they had delivered to Nichols saying if they did, they would have been charged. Instead, they told him Nichols was high, something they didn't have evidence of, and that he was driving into oncoming traffic and got out of his car swinging.
So, another point, right? It's a reaction video, y'all. I'm gonna pause it through because I gotta say a few things, right? So this isn't a black-white thing. All of these cops, for the most part, were black. So if you think that police officers, white police officers, target black people, no. It's the idea, the whole mentality, bro. It could be someone that looks just like you, carrying out the orders and the agenda of the ops. So these people are the ops. Everybody's on trial right now is the opposition, right? They're not my own. I don't represent them. Everything that I do on the mob is the opposite of what these people represent. Because in that moment, you were thinking with the crowd, moving with the crowd. Now you're going to be judged with that crowd you were thinking with.
Martin saying they had to justify his actions to justify theirs. Martin also testified to a code that was a general understanding. I'm not going to tell on them, and I know they're not going to tell on me. Not going to put them in a situation where they get in trouble. It was an understanding. Basically, we did what we needed to do. I wasn't going to tell on them, and they weren't going to tell on me.
And Martin saying a lot here in court today. Bear with me, if you will. Martin also testified he gestured for Mills to take off his body camera because he didn't want it to catch what they were saying after the beating, saying it was common practice to remove the camera, leave it running on the car. He'd seen other people do it, so he did the same thing. He also said the assault report the department wrote up for him, since Nichols was trying to take Martin's gun, what he said happened, was also full of untruths, as well as Martin's own response to resistance report, even down to the lack of information they gave dispatch and EMTs and first responders about Tyre Nichols' injuries. They never told anyone what they did. Right now, Martin is still on the stand. He is being questioned by the defense attorneys now. They're bringing out how Martin is getting a substantial assistance in his own case for his testimony here, and how he never mentioned Tyre's first question to officers that night they pulled him out of the car, saying Nichols never told them, saying Nichols did tell them, why y'all always expletive with me. Martin says he didn't mention it because no one ever asked.
Right.
Reporting live
Okay.
News Channel 3.
No point in telling you the details of a homicide as a police officer. Nobody asked me. All right, so there was a lot with that, right? Now, he was already mad when he took the field that day, he said, right? They always mad. People, not cops, just people. So the best way to control emotional men is to teach emotional men how to control their emotions. That's the only way. Because if they go out in this emotional state, somebody gets hurt. Emotional men kill people. Somebody let me know if I'm right or wrong. All right? Emotional men kill people. And emotional police officers who go into the field are already upset. And that's what happened. Now, they tried to put on the idea that Tyre Nichols was high on drugs, right? That's what's being pushed, right? And he also talked about the code of the brotherhood of the boys in blue. And it's so easy to take those who look like us, who identify as us, and recruit them for the brotherhood of something else. It's like the Chappelle show with the Black Klansman, right? You can be easily recruited because we don't have a brotherhood that we push, that we stand for. So the Lost Club theory, they're easily recruited and pushing the agendas of others easily. All right, so that's the Tyre Nichols vid. Y'all see him a little bit, a little thrown off. I've been out the game for a few weeks now, but yeah, give me back. I'll get back to it. But yeah, that video, the Tyre Nichols situation, reminds me of a similar situation that we've seen in the movie before, right? The Tales from the Hood scene with the police officers. And it's easily the same exact situation. So I played that to let you all know the exact layout of what really went on that night. Now, that in comparison to this. And I'm gonna pause it through here, right? You all remember this scene. I think this movie, Tales from the Hood, came out in the mid-90s.
This story kicks off with the rookie cop by the name of Clarence, called in to assist fellow cops at this cap-ass traffic stop. The brother in custody turns out to be the city's councilman, Martin Morehouse. Word on the curb is Morehouse and the cops are beefing due to the pigs being corrupted as fuck.
Now let me ask you something, huh? You getting off on destroying good cops' lives?
See,
big mouth, goddamn son of a bitch.
This is what we felt like back in the day, right? You got the white cops pulling us over. You know what I'm saying? Like getting the razz like this. But this move was so deep. Every situation in Tales from the Hood is relevant today. It's still going on. That's why it's a classic. But check this out. There's a lot of things with the police, the black police officer, that came to the defense of the black politician that was going to make changes in the city. In the end, there's a lot to it, though, when it goes with the thinking of the boys in blue or anybody who thinks with a group, who doesn't understand individualism.
Bitch.
I've got nothing against good cops.
You what?
I said I've got nothing against good cops, but I will see low-life scum like you run out of the department.
You shut the fuck up, sucker.
The rookie cop then tries to intervene, but was quickly overthrown by his peers. The three janky pigs then hatches a plan to end Morehouse's life by ejecting the brother with drugs and then driving him off a cliff.
All right, so, right, he was innocent of everything, right? Same with this Tyre Nichols situation. But to help the situation, right, to help the case, the police officer, all of them put drugs in his system. They drugged him. Same with the Tyre Nichols situation, right? They all said he was high on drugs, and that's what justified the beating. Same exact thing, except the colors changed, right? Fruity colors.
Want to have a little party? You see, you were right about one thing. The cops are dealing drugs. Just put them in the trunk.
So a year passes by, and our homie Clarence is now suffering from PSD. Plus, to make matters worse, Morehouse suddenly demands for Clarence to bring the corrupted pigs to his gravesite.
Seems like the exact same situation with the cop that's testifying right now, that's spilling out the beans on the stand, right? It's a little too late for me.
The three janky pigs accept the request and proceeds to the gravesite with two things in mind. One, to disrespect Morehouse's grave for the last time, and two, to finally off Clarence for good. Morehouse then rises from his grave with a handful of nuts, roasting the first pig all together.
All right, so this is my point with that. I feel like that was the same exact thing because right now, even in his death, right, years later, or a year later or whatnot, right? That's still lying. And to lie about what you did and to make it like, well, we were following procedure. To me, that's the exact same thing as pissing on somebody's grave. And in the scene, if you don't remember, the first cop, the main cop that put the drugs in the brother's system, the black politician system, he was the one that made the other. He said, I'm going to piss on his grave. They didn't really want to do it. But he looked back like, hey, man, y'all know the code. We think it's one. We move as one. We do everything as one. See, I mean, it's identical. It's identical in every way. And that's crazy, though. But in this thinking, we thought it was the white cops, the white police officers doing it. And we got to get out of that. You know, like me and my partner say all the time, they made niggas. They were designed to look just like us, the good people who I represent, the good black people I represent, who I do this for, right? M to the OB, y'all know you did. Chat my what it do. But yeah, this is the exact same situation. The exact same situation. And it's sad. Now, David Banner, we're gonna move right along. We ain't gonna pause too long, right? We're gonna move right along. David Banner had a lot to say about the current situation with the trial of P. Diddy, young Dolph, you know, all the famous people, the surface level conversations that we have, that we deem our own, right? But it's something behind it. It's deeper than that. That's just on the surface, right? David Banner, he said everything that I needed him to say. I like to get others to say things, to speak for me. I don't like to just literally say it, right? Because y'all like famous people. Y'all like the famous people. Like, how you ain't famous? We ain't listening to you.
Really, really upsetting to me. It's almost like we have been convinced anytime that it has something to do with our culture, it's almost like we salivate at the mouth to tear each other down. And what makes me upset is within our community, just about anybody that the world decides is wrong, if they were doing something wrong, we knew about it in our community for 10, 15 years and didn't do shit about it.
So if that's so wrong, then why was y'all drinking some rock and, got it wrong? Why was y'all bumping Gotti so much? He's so wrongful. Man, he did that to Dolph. Yeah, you ain't say that when you was riding around playing it. Right? So let's keep that in mind, right? And then when somebody goes on trial, when they're talking about the RICO coming, oh, he wrong. It's his time for it. Just because they want to arrest him, think for yourself, right? It's whoever they want to push in front of us, whoever it is that they want us to hate, even of our own. Like I said, we got to keep in mind, they'll put niggas in front of you and make you think this way about all black people. And that's not true.
And as soon as the rest of the world decides that they want to go on a witch hunt, then we try to beat them to the punch. And we go out of our way to tell jokes and laugh and criticize. That shit is sad. That shit is really, really sad. I don't know why we act like we winning or we act like we have a lot of heroes in our community and a lot of people that want to help us. Like, you ain't got to help them folks. And what's crazy is when somebody else does something outside of our community to us, we have to hoop and holler. They hardly ever get convicted. But we will hang each other. But what we don't understand is they're going to make sure that we pay. They're going to make sure we go to jail. They're going to make sure that we suffer for the rest of our life. They do cocaine and crack and be sexual deviants and then become superstars and superheroes. And
Robert Downey Jr. full of that dope. Got a track record way longer than everybody I roll with. But he's Iron Man.
No, and we say nothing. We say nothing. The people on our dollar bills are ex-slave owners, and we don't say take them off a dollar bill or take those people who, did those wrong things off of TV, but let one of us do something. I'm talking about do anything, and we would tear each other apart. I've been being more and more quiet because I don't think now is the time to be doing a whole bunch of talking. And everybody got a fucking opinion about everything, even shit that they know. If neuroscience becomes the hot topic tomorrow, every other podcast in our fucking community gonna have something to say about neuroscience, and the motherfuckers know they don't know nothing about no neuroscience. I'm just here to give perspective, y'all. That's all. Do whatever the fuck you decide to do, but it ain't right, y'all. We don't do each other right. We don't have to be this way. We don't have to be this way. But if something happened, you want the same people that you criticize to help you.
Right.
Or protect you or donate or...
Was he wrong? Was he wrong? Right? This is crazy to me. He's got all of these YouTubers, he got all of these vloggers, everybody just getting views and destroying right? Without thinking about why are we seeing these people in this light when we know whose world it is, right? It ain't ours. You would think that based off the things you see in the media, but it's not ours though. But we feed right into it. He ran there drugging people. You been knowing he been throwing parties forever. You used to want to go to him. That's crazy. But in 1 second, right? That's all it takes. Now, you ready to turn on like it's nothing. All this rock you've been drinking over all them years. Don't act like that. All this Sean John you've been rocking. Right? And all that Gotti you be playing. I don't want to hear all about that. Like, all of this stuff, the negativity, man. We cannot think for ourselves. Everything that I was saying before the trial, I'm still saying. Everything that I was saying back when Dolph and Gotti was beefing with one another, I'm still saying. When Dolph was alive, before his unfortunate passing, I was still saying, man, this is dumb. Why not? Y'all go check my videos on the Mob page. I got a video talking about they missed their biggest payday. A CMG and a PRE tour would have been bigger than any tour in the history of Southern rap. I'm going to be real. Dolph, Gotti, Glock, Bag, Glorilla. Man, y'all stop. Come on, man. Black Youngster. Who wouldn't pay for that? So if it's all about the money, look at all the money you missed. Since we all about the paper. But it ain't even about that. It's about pushing the agenda or making somebody else some paper outside of yourself. So I'm just going to let things be revealed because a lot of stuff y'all already knew. Like I said, I like to pick y'all like famous people. Y'all like famous people. But it's already been said, right? It's already been said by this man. And this is going to go back, right? We're going to go back.
And the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side, period.
We don't care nothing about the other side, homie. We know what we doing. Those are the ops.
Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
That goes for all. So you been living how you been living. Hey, man, you good. I ain't got to worry about nothing. If you been doing this and you been passing off hits, you ain't been helping the community, you ain't been giving back, you ain't been building the city, you ain't been doing what you needed to do. You had so many years to do it. And this, I ain't talking about Gotti. I ain't talking about whoever rapping with money. I'm just talking about everybody. I'm talking about myself. So when the time comes, you'll be put on trial. This is a trial period. Trials and tribulations. We're all going through it. So you just gonna witness some, it'll look like a demise. It's just a trial period. And this is, like I said, the people that we've talked about are rich people dealing with all the money. They seem to need the mob more than y'all. Right about now, I would think that the best thing for, now I'm talking about Gotti this time, the best thing for him to do is probably detach from all of everything that he's bought, all the money, the cars, the houses. They coming forward anyway, allegedly. And if they aren't, so be it. You still gonna have to detach from them because it's always a possibility that they can take your money. It's one press of a button. So they take all of that, what you got? We're gonna give you something that nobody can take away because that money in these bank accounts is just a press of a button, bro. As we can see, it don't buy you happiness, man. I'm letting y'all know that a lot of these people will trade places with me right about now. Because guess what? I'm so happy from within with who I am and who I'm becoming and who I will be. That's the understanding that I'm trying to give y'all. It's not about me having 8,000 people in here. It's about the people that I have who I'm affecting and they're helping myself ultimately because this is my calling. Can't worry about all the rest of the things. But if I fall into worried about money and trying to be like that, I'll lose everything and everybody. And I'll lose myself. That's all I'm saying. But Cat already told y'all what was going to go down this year. I told y'all what was going to go down this year. I'm telling y'all what's going to go down in the next 5, 10 years. Check the vids.
Amen, amen.
Gee. I kind of get this one here.
Right.
After that, I don't really kind of know where to go. Let me, one more time.
Right.
We good now?
Because the people want to know, why would he get blackballed?
Yeah,
because
I was gonna ask you that.
Because
Damn, Holly, why you ain't got 8,000 subscribers coming in a week. You know why. Come on now, tell them, Cat.
In 30 years, I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing...
You will tell it.
No, somebody come to tell me.
But yeah, like I said, all things will be revealed. Cat already told y'all. I ain't like y'all surprised. Come on now. Come on now. Everybody's on trial. You call it life, I call it a trial. So it ain't just about Gotti, whatever, straight drop, Justin Johnson. It ain't about Tyre Nichols. We all on trial, bro. What are you going to do in your trial period? How are you going to use it? Right? That is the question. All right, moving right along. All right. But yeah, felt like that was important. All right, so let's talk about this.
Leader at 4 today, explosive new allegations this afternoon about the murder of Adolph Thornton Jr., known as rapper Young Dolph. That trial got underway today in a Shelby County courtroom. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Alex Coleman. April is on assignment. Justin Johnson also.
Now keep in mind, niggas exploit black people. All right? Niggas, since y'all love the N-word. I don't use it. You've never heard me really use it on it, but I think this is, it's called for. It's called for. Try to keep it classy on here, right? But we got to. But niggas, use and exploit young black men and young black women for money. And you be like, man, don't be on there talking about your own. These are people you talking about. Nah, them your people. My people don't do this or think like this. We got to separate the herd, bro. Right? These people are recruiting sheep for the slaughter. And I'm a wolf. They don't even come my way. Be a wolf.
Also known as Straight Drop, is accused of shooting young Dolph outside a Memphis cookie shop almost 3 years ago. But today, prosecutors told the jury it was actually a man known as Big Jook who ordered the hit. They claim Big Jook was high up a record label, CMG, a rival of young Dolph. Big Jook, who was the older brother of well-known rapper Yo Gotti, was killed earlier this year outside a Hickory Hill nightclub. WREG Shay Arthur has been in the courtroom all day and is live with the latest details. Shay, what have you learned?
Alex, I just stepped out of the courtroom just a short time ago. That testimony is still ongoing. It's really been going on this entire day in this highly anticipated trial that really so many, just not across Memphis, but across the country, have been following. Young Dolph, loved by so many here in the Bluff City. Security here at the court, very, very tight. There's extra police officers up inside there around the courtroom. You have to go through 2 metal detectors to actually get inside that courtroom. And the prosecution and the defense, they've been telling some very different stories about who is to blame here in the rapper's death.
Justin Johnson, one of the men accused of shooting young Dolph outside a Memphis cookie shop, sat stoic in court. Shelby County prosecutor Paul Hagerman painted the picture of the day of the crime for the jury, who was brought in from out of Shelby County. Hagerman says Johnson, an aspiring rapper known as Straight Drop, shot Dolph along with a second man, Cornelius Smith. He says the shooting comes after a $100,000 hit was ordered by Big Jook, who was high up at CMG, a rival record label and the older brother of rapper Yo Gotti. The contract hit was arranged by a third man, Hernandez Govan. Investigators say Govan would seek out new talent for CMG and also provided drugs to Smith.
Now, let's pause it there. So allegedly, Govan was a recruit for CMG Records and a supplier to the other Cornelius. He supplied them with drugs, right? And this is, like I said, this is alleged. Could all be. He still has his day in court, still has his day in trial. He'll get his chance to prove his innocence. Doesn't look good, but yeah, so be it. But I'm saying, do we understand that this role is in every record label in America? Like, the drug supplier is the same guy that's recruiting the artists for the label? Y'all don't see the trend? Do we have to bring up 1017, Gucci Mane, his label that's going on there? This is the whole rap game, y'all. Exploitation, like I said, niggas exploit black men and women. Just like you'll sign a sexual artists, right? For exploitation for the money and push it towards the label and then make them the hardest artists and get them all the money. Those ain't my people, y'all. I don't even cover it, but I gotta let you know, I gotta call a spade, and we gotta recognize the ops, as y'all like to use. Y'all look at me, I ain't your op, but they are out here. And they got melon too. Keep that in mind.
The jury was shown the moments young Dolph was killed outside Makita's Cookies. Hagerman said to Johnson and Smith the shooting was, quote, just business.
What we watch up here is so quick. And we watch it and we call it violence. That's a man with a family and with a life who's laying at the edge there in the yellow, riddled with bullets, dead. We watch that and we call it violence. For Cornelius Smith and for Justin Johnson, it was just business.
But Johnson's attorney says his client is innocent, saying there's two sides to every story, and Govan was using Johnson.
I was being used. Somebody made me do it. Okay. We gotta get them ready for this. It's ahead of time. You can't wait to court and try to blame somebody else for what you chose to do. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he's misguided. This is gonna happen. This is just like nature. Hey, move with the herd or be eaten. That's the nature of things. Man wrote these words that we use. Like Grand Creator made nature. That's the best language I can show you. Hey man, you move with the pack or you'll be eaten and you will starve. So obviously these people are moving outside the pack and not thinking alike. So like I said, sheep are being recruited and they are being slaughtered right before us. So at this point, on these trials that we're watching, it's the slaughtering of the sheep. And as a wolf, I'm just watching. I'm just watching.
They like to exploit. They like to exploit young rappers. Like Mr. Johnson.
And young addicts like Mr. Cornelius.
He brings no skill to the table, but you're going to hear testimony about how he intended. It was his sole mission to get a 30 to 60% piece of Mr. Johnson.
Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy was also present, speaking to us about the trial finally happening nearly 3 years after the shooting.
Great anticipation. I mean, this is the culmination of a lot of years' work, and there's been a lot of work done by our staff at the DA's office and also by law enforcement to bring the people responsible for this tragic killing to justice, and that's what we're going to do this week.
And Alex, really, so far in the case today, beyond those explosive opening statements that we heard, those accusations there from the prosecutor, we also heard from the sister of young Dolph, along with one of his former security guards. Currently, right now, Cornelius Smith, he is the second man, along with Justin Johnson, accused of shooting young Dolph there in front of Makita's cookie store. He's currently under cross-examination by the defense. We'll hear from him tonight at 5 o'clock. I'm going to go.
Man, you are the recruit, the dealer, and you get a cut out the hit. Allegedly. Allegedly. I know what I'm saying. You can still disprove all of this, right? At the end of the day, though, the motive, and it's just the way the ops are moving. It's the way the ops are moving. Hey, man, I can get you a deal. So with the drill movement going on, right? When you talk about, for those of you who don't know, the drill movement is rappers talking about how many rappers they've killed. So we got somebody that's a hitman, or that's the one's gonna seek out the hits and go to the label for the hits. You got everything, and you dealing, bruh, three-headed monster. And when I say monster, I mean in every sense of the word. But I don't care, y'all. I don't represent these people. I keep telling you all that. Right? I'll show you who I represent. It's simple. Because you'll never hear about this. In the midst of all this garbage that's getting thrown around, right? And all this mud, they're trying to dilute what we represent, who we are, right? Because you go out, when you watch these trials, the Thug trial, the Diddy trial, the Young Dolph murder trial, the Tyre Nichols trial, do you leave your house with a feeling of like, man, my people are doing so great? We're doing so well. But do you feel like, damn, there's some things we need to clean up? Nah, it ain't that, bro. It's the media. It's what's being pushed, the agenda. You're not gonna hear about the guy that went to work, that's working 2 or 3 jobs to take care of his family, right? You're not gonna talk about the mother that's holding her man down. She's going to school, he's going to work. They have great kids in our community. You won't hear about that because they're not being represented. All of these podcasts and all of these YouTube vloggers and all this, they just want views. And I can understand why. Most people don't like the struggle. You don't understand that I'm taking baby steps to get where I need to get with my platform. I represent something. But anyway, who I represent, I can show you. I can show you better than I can tell you. Right? We know what we're doing here. Here on, we're going to show you who we got. This is what I rep.
Oh, man. She probably going to cry, man.
See? On our way to bless a woman's black-owned business that was going out of business. Now look at all of these people. These ain't the ops, y'all. This the home team right here. Don't get no kind of coverage, right? Ain't nobody doing nothing. Ain't nobody fighting. Ain't nobody twerking. And ain't nobody, not saying twerking is the worst thing going on, right? I ain't fully against twerking. But it's a time and a place for it. And this place, it was time for us to ride and be that example, right? You might not hear about any of these people on any other platform. I ain't worried about that because those platforms are the ops. You got to come support the home team. That's the mob.
This is dope. We all blessing. This lady shop today. We got word that her business went out of business. So we about to help her money, man. Sell out her.
Nah, y'all, she ain't going out of business on our watch. How about we do that, right? How many businesses have we seen during the COVID, post-COVID, go out of business? How many businesses of our own? We got the most money in America, y'all. The most play money. We don't own the most houses and the most land, but we got the most money to play with and shop with. So if we do something like this, I know, like I said, I've been doing this a year now. We're trying to get stronger and stronger. But you got to come out. You got to come buy a smoothie. You got to come buy a t-shirt for your own. I know you like to buy the CMG shirts. And I ain't against if that's your kind, that's who you want to support, so be it. But we need to support on the other side. I'm letting you know. You might not know what he's doing with that money over on that side. You might be supporting the ops. I don't care what y'all say, it's us against everybody. Don't be doing bashing. I ain't bashing our own. I know what my own is. Do you?
Oh, man. Lord of the land.
And this is all I ever wanted. All I ever wanted was to see a line out of here. And to see the store full. So that the sisters in here, y'all, it's over what black women own brands sold here. That's all I ever wanted was for their businesses to thrive. When they can't get in Walmart yet, when they can't get in Target yet, they know they could be in the system.
Spell it out.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You ain't gonna see that. You ain't gonna see that. So yeah, had to share that. So that's what we gotta do. Gotta be the example, right? I gave you that example. We should be able to do that in Memphis. All this money going around, or you can keep on supporting the ops. Y'all want to make this about race? Man, we getting out of that. It's about mentality. It's about agendas. What agenda are you pushing? And even more better than that, what the hell are you doing? Right? What are you doing personally to help? Because this is what I gotta do. It's just a piece of it. I got more to do, but we're all on trial. And when my judgment comes, I'll be found innocent of supporting the ops and the fuckery. I'm just being real. I mean, yeah, I'm throwing the profanity around tonight, right? We gotta be real. It's grown folks album, man. All right. So my boys who represent for the image, right? I wish I could get a little bit more activity about them, but I ain't gonna say much. I need them to be a little bit more active because our streets need them. Now you got your block, they got their block. I need y'all standing on it. I need an 8-ball pool hall right there, bro. 8-ball MJG got their own streets in Memphis. They got to smell their roses while they were alive. For our last story before we get out of here, 8-ball MJG giving their own streets, but like I said, I would love to see an 8-ball pool hall. An 8-ball pool hall right there. Billiards, right? Put sticks out of business. What's the name of the one in East Memphis? Put them out of business, 8-ball. We come to yours. They playing all 8-ball MJG music in the background, all Memphis hits. We shooting pool. We represent for the hood. All that money going to big ball and going back to the community. I'm gonna holler at him about it. You know that's my guy, right? I'm gonna holler at him. Yeah, so yeah, let's share this, our last story today. Positivity, right? 8-ball and MJG honored with their own streets in Orange Mound, Memphis, Tennessee.
But what I really take away from the event, the entire community came out and there was no violence. People were just happy and they elated to celebrate our legends.
It was a day set aside specifically for a pair of Memphis legends. We're talking about longtime rap group 8-Ball and MJG, the city of Memphis, celebrating the 2-day in a street renaming ceremony. Fox 13's Lakia Scott joining us live in studio. Lakia, you spoke with them both. This is a huge honor. Good evening to you.
It is. Good evening, Daniel. Now, both 8-Ball and MJG will have streets named after them. I had a conversation with a pair who told me they are appreciative and grateful for the love they continue to get from the community. The city of Memphis threw them a big celebration.
We appreciate y'all, we love y'all, and keep on putting on for the city of Memphis.
Rap moguls and legends, 8-Ball and MJG honored over the weekend in their hometown and best of all in the community they grew up in, Orange Mound. The legendary duo now have their own street. In an honorary street renaming ceremony, Memphis city leaders issued a resolution naming Park Avenue in Orange Mound MJG Avenue, and Airways will be known as 8-Ball Boulevard.
The significance of that corner is that MJG lived his first 18 years of his life on Sample Street, right there at Park Avenue and Airways. Like MJG Avenue, literally he grew up right there.
The pair, who says they are still mostly here in Memphis, met when they attended Ridgeway Middle School. They would rise to fame and record 9 studio albums together and leave fans with hits like Space Age Pimpin' and creations like Coming Out Hard. Now, decades later, the group is still taking in the support from loyal fans.
The amount of time that we've been doing this, it's just unbelievable that people are still interested, and they still love our music and they still keep us relevant.
And following the loss of a fellow legendary icon, the November 2021 murder of South Memphis rapper Young Dolph, I asked the group their thoughts on the conclusion of the Young Dolph murder trial and the guilty verdict of suspect Justin Johnson.
Memphis need a hug.
Yeah.
Memphis, we need a hug, and that's what we got today, man. This thing today, what happened with me and G and the mayor, you know what I mean? It was a great day, and Memphis needed it today.
We need it every day.
And I also talked to them about plans moving forward. 8-Ball and MJG told me they are working on some projects. They've got an album called Ike and Barry on the way and a series called Coming Out Hard, and other projects are in the making. Dan.
What's that? Barry White? Okay. Ike Turner and Barry White. MJG's Ike Turner. 8-Ball's Barry White. That's dope. But yeah, they got their flowers. They got their flowers while they're still here, right? And hopefully, they'll be the start of more, right? We can buy the block. You got the block 9. You got, take Ball and G Avenue down to Young Dolph Avenue down there. Let's buy these areas up. Let's have prominent businesses. That's a starting point. that the streets named after us. Now we need to own some things on these streets. Let's put small businesses. Let's start our own everything right there, right? No violence in these areas or anywhere for that matter, but we're gonna start. We're gonna start with a snowflake, all right, and build this avalanche. So shout out to them. Shout out to, everybody's on Paul Young, but that's part of what he did, right, in his first year as a mayor. That's some positivity that we can grow from. But like I said, I would like to see somebody get Big Ball this. I ain't got his number. Ball ain't checking no emails. But yeah, get that pool hall there. Hey, Ball. Serve some smoothies or something. We got my guy with the Orange Mountain Smoothie Shop. What's up, Chuck? I'll let Chuck over there, get him to get his business right around the corner. We got a lot going on in there, bro. But yeah, trials and tribulations. We're all on trial. Right? So what are you going to do in your trial period? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep doing the mob. I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to keep getting this word out and representing for the home team. And I don't care about the ops. Even if they look just like me. I get told that all the time. I look like these rappers. But I'm not a rapper. Not those rappers. More than a rapper. But yeah. With that being said, I see y'all next week. I think we're going to be rocking on Tuesdays from here on out. Tuesdays, Wednesdays. We're not going to do it. I ain't competing with the NFL. I'm not doing Sundays and Mondays right now. You know y'all love y'all football. But I'll be back. I'll send out the notification. If not, y'all turn on the bell, hit the like button. Make sure you rock with us and check back with us next week. It's the mob. And we come.